Kalkadosh, Boker Or, Daf Yomi Masechet Zevachim, Daf Samech Bet, Amud Aleph, 62a1. Says the Gemara. Amar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef. He comes and he says as follows. Lav Hainu de Tanya, are we not talking about right now in the Braita where it says V'yachinu et hamizbeach al mechonotav sheyu lesov midotav? That we're talking about right now the explanation of the binyan mizbeach during Beit Sheni. We're talking about
it's bigger.
So it says over there that when Anshe Knesset Gedolah came and they said about the midot, so it's mashma over there that it was going to be bigger, right, than the previous one. So it's mashma that Shlomo did not see all the midot of the mizbeach. So he says, "Raktiv," and it's written, "Hakol bichtav miyad Hashem ala yiskin," which means everything of the Bet Hamikdash, right, is going to be known from the Nevi'im. So it comes out that even Shlomo Melech knew about that. So it's obviously that Shlomo Melech could not make it bigger than what it was, right, because he didn't know the sizes. So he says, Elamah of Yosef, or rather of Yosef says, Krash kach v'darash. He saw a pasuk where it says, Vayomer David, is David, yeah, with a yod, right? Because remember, whenever it's in Divrei Yamim, it was with a yod, right? Just like Vevarich David, with a yod. Zehu bet Hashem Elokim v'zeh mizbeach alolai Yisrael. He says, Ki bait, my bait, just like the house is going to be shishim amah, so to the mizbeach is going to be shishim amah, which means that it's fitting to be mitkadesh the mizbeach. So it comes out that which they didn't do the mizbeach so big during the time of Shlomo is because they didn't need it, right? But he says, but the reason is because they didn't do doresh from the pasuk like that. So bishlama bait, I understand the bait, which is going to be the place in the kedushat of the Hechal. So he says because after the Churban, it's still nikar tzurato of the bait harishon, which means according to the Yesodot and the Choma and everything, they could still see the foundations of the first Bet Hamikdash. Ela mizbeach. Ela mizbeach menayade. How do they know? So Amar Rabbi Elazar says Rabbi Elazar, Ra'u mizbeach banui Michael Sar Gadol Omer Makriv Alav. They saw the mizbeach with Ruach HaKodesh that it was already built, and Michael is Sar Gadol. Remember, Michael is Sar Yisrael. Yeah, Omed Makriv Alav, and he was bringing right the korbanot. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha Amar Efro Shel Yitzchak Ra'u. They saw the efer of Yitzchak Avinu shemunach beoto makom that was going to be in the same place. Okay, ורבי שמעון בר נחמני אמר, מכל הבית כולו הריחו ריח קטורת. From the entire בית המקדש, they were able to smell the smell of the קטורת, משם הריחו ריח איברים. But there in the מזבח, they were able to smell the smell of the איברים, of the limbs of the מזבח. So it was not the same thing, right, as the rest of the בית המקדש. So they knew that here is the place of the מזבח. Meaning incredible, from the smell, they know exactly where the מזבח is. Can you please put the phone down? Yeah, so he comes now and he says like this. Amar Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yochanan, Shlosha Nevi'im alui mahem min haGolah. Do you know that there are 3 Nevi'im that came up with them from the Golah? Chagai, Zechariah, Malachi. This is talking about between the first and second Bet HaMikdash, obviously. Echad she'id lahem al mizbeach. One of them said exactly where the mizbeach was and what was the amot, the measurements of the mizbeach. Echad she'id lahem al makom mizbeach. One of them told them where is it. And the other one is that you're going to bring korbanot even though there's no Bet HaMikdash still. That means even though the Bet HaMikdash was still destroyed, right, they still had Kiddushat HaBayit, and therefore they were able to bring on that Mizbeach even though they didn't have the Bet HaMikdash yet. Because remember, they just came up from the exile. They didn't have the Bet HaMikdash yet. They had to build it. But until they build it, they're allowed to bring korbanot.
You can't bring Masechet though.
Not Masechet. Masechet is within the walls of Jerusalem, not of the Bet HaMikdash. B'matznita Tana, right? In the Braita we learned of Lezer ben Yaakov Omer, Shosha Nevi'im alu imam min haGolah. There are 3 Nevi'im that went up to them. One of them he was me'id, he testified on the midot of Mizbeach. One of them the place of Mizbeach. One of them shemakrivim v'shem bayit. Ve'echad she'id lahem ala Torah shetikatev ashurit. That you have to write the Torah on ashurit, ktav ashurit. That's all we have today. Our ktav is ashurit. Okay, until you were clear. Yeah, for sure. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Keren v'kevesh. The Yesod, v'ribu'a me'akvin. Yeah, everyone understood. One more time. The keren.
Horn.
What's the horns? Oh, where's the horns, Richard?
On the 4 corners of the ark.
Kol hakavod. Kevesh. What's the kevesh?
The ramp.
The ramp going up. Amalama. Kol hakavod. Kevesh is the ramp, right? Yesod. What's the Yesod?
The base goes all the way around.
Not all the way around.
Except for one.
The
part.
green line, exactly.
Except for one.
It was basically going to be on the west and the south. And the north and the east, you only had one little tiny amah. That was the green line. You remember you had a little tiny amah going full upwards full upwards over there, and then a little bit anama there. So this entire part where the ramp was, right, and the other part on the right side did not have, meaning towards towards Azrat Nashim, it did not have the Yesod. So the Yesod was only basically on two sides and one amma and amma on the other two sides. Okay, but it was basically empty in the majority of that sides. Okay, so that's the Yesod. Ribu'ah. What is ribu'ah? Squared. What does it mean squared? Right? So it says over here that the Mizbeach had to be squared on all four corners. It cannot be round. Right? Me'akvin. So all these things are going to be ma'akev on the Mizbeach. But midat orko, midat rochbo, midat komato me'akvin. But the height, width, and length is not me'akev. That means it's going to be a little bit bigger or smaller. It's not me'akev. But the other things are me'akev. Okay? Says the Gemara Menani. How do we know these words? It says Ravuna says the Markah. The pasuk says Hamizbeach. What does it mean Hamizbeach? So he says Kol makom sheneman Hamizbeach la'akev. Anytime that it says the word the Mizbeach, it's ma'akev. So if it says it, so ela mi'ata. So we're going to say now. It says the kior leRebbi v'sovev leRebbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda hachinam le'akev. So it comes out that the kior, right, or the sovev. Remember, the sovev is when you go up on the mizbeach, you go to the sovev. You remember from the ramp, you go to another part, which was in the middle part, which goes around. Okay, that was going to be 6 amot high. Capish? Yeah? When you go up 6 amot, from the bottom to 6 amot, you're going to have an amalama, which is the way that the Kohanim would walk all the way around on the top of part of the mizbeach, right? Not on the top, not on the top, but in the middle. That's called the amal sovev, that goes around. Okay? So he says 1 and then 5. Yeah.
Around maybe like
It's a very good question. I don't know, but you're right. He didn't have a fence.
good balance.
And it was only an amah. Think about it, half a meter, and you have to walk all around. But technically speaking, even if it is that a person does fall, think about it. You're falling from 6 amot. 6 amot.
That's
Yeah, 5 is 6
one-story
amot.
building.
No, 6 amot is 3 meters.
It's 10 feet almost. It's no fun. This roof is 10 feet.
Yeah, really? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but it's only from the top.
What?
You fall from the mush from the top.
No, from the Masovev. In the middle. That's what they're still talking about.
Sorry.
If you're falling from the top, that's 10 amot. That's already 5 meters. That's much higher.
They have to walk. They can't walk 2 feet at a time.
It could be, yeah. No, but he's just asking, why don't you just make a fence or whatever, like yeah, like whatever it is, like to go around. It's a very good. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's much less than that.
That was part of the miracles.
Yeah, probably.
So we mentioned.
Yep. So he says, what is a karkov? Rabbi Yomi is a kior, and Rabbi Yosef Yehuda says it's a sovev. So it comes out that also it says mizbeach. So that means it should be me'akev in these cases. So it's in your right. The Tanya was learned in a writer. Oto ayom nifkema keren mizbeach. There was one day that the keren mizbeach, which is the horn of the mizbeach, was nifgam. Nifgam means that it was how do you call it? Defected. So he says veviu bul. So they brought a bull of melach usatmu, and they covered the keren. Velo mipnei shekasher avodah, not because it's kosher for the avodah, that the mizbeach should not look like it's pagum. Because any mizbeach that does not have a keren v'kevesh v'yisov rebuah is going to be pasul. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda says no. Also the sovev is going to be posel as well. If it didn't have the sovev, it's going to be pasul. Okay. Tanu Rabbi, we learned in the Braita. What is a karkov? The karkov is a charitz which is on the gaga mizbeach between the keren to keren for the kohanim to walk around. That's called the karkov. Right? That means basically on the top of the mizbeach, the kohanim used to walk around. Right? So they had this karkov, which is like basically like a ledge. You want to call it a ledge? Okay, ledge. But it was a furrow. It had to be. It was like dug in a little bit, and that's where they made like an imprint that they were able to walk around the mizbeach. Okay, walk around on the top part. So says the Gemara, "V'atu hakohanim ben keren lekeren avos." What, they used to go from one to another? Elayim habarata, they say, "Mekom miluch raglei hakohanim ama." They used to walk. They used to only have an ama. That's what they had. Okay, v'aktiv, and it's written tacha kakuo milmata d'chetzio, until half. So you're right. There's going to be 2 different sovevim to the mizbach and nechoshet, right? That it was called the karkov. One of them was for noi. right? Which is basically for beauty. And one of them is for the Kohanim, the lo nisharku, so that way they shouldn't fall. 44, 39. Okay, fine. Now it says, Midat orko, midat orcho, midat komodo, me'akvin. It's not going to be ma'akev. Amar Rabbi Mani says, "V'lvat shlif chatenu mimizbeach shasa Moshe." As long as it's not going to be less, meaning smaller than the mizbeach of Moshe Rabbeinu. V'kama, so how much is that? Amar Rabbi Yosef al amal alma. 1 amal alma. Means if you made a mizbeach smaller than a amal alma, which is nothing, half a meter and a half a meter, so that's going to be pasul. Machku aleh, they went and they started laughing. They said, I don't understand. Chamesh amotor v'chamesh amotor rochav ravua yeh mizbeach. It says that it has to be 5 by 5. It has to be squared. So what are you talking about now, amal alma? Abai says, he's not talking about the maracha. Meaning he's only just talking about the malama without the maracha. The maracha was where they actually made the fires. So Amar Lemor, the Gavra Rabbahu, Yadamai Kamina, he says, he was such a great person, he knows what my kavanah was. So Karil Layu, so they went and they said on Rav Yosef, Ayit Samich Bet Amubet, Bene Keturah. Oh wow. He says, you guys are not acting like the children of Avraham Avinu, you guys are acting like Bene Keturah. The children of Hagar. Oh wow! I'm actually going to bring down. I just saw this Dvar Torah last night. I was going to bring it down tonight, and now I just see it here. Bnei achte de Rabbi Tarfon v'yat v'kamed de Rabbi Tarfon. Listen to this Gemara, okay? But this is going to be tomorrow's daf. I'm going to mention it tonight. Bnei achte de Rabbi Tarfon, right? He says that the children, these are the nephews of Rabbi Tarfon. Havuyat v'kamed de Rabbi Tarfon. We're sitting in front of Rabbi Tarfon. Patach v'amar, and they went and they said, "V'yosef Ram v'yikach u'shma Yochni." So imagine Rabbi Tarfon comes and he says that Avraham Avinu came and he took a second wife. What was her name? Yochani. Amri Lei, they went and they said, Keturah Ktiv. It's written Keturah, not Yochni. It says in the Torah that he took Keturah. So Kari Alehem, so he went and he called them Bnei Keturah. Right, what does that mean? You guys don't know Dvar Halacha. So you're called, right, Bnei Keturah.
Why do you say that?
Very good. So we'll speak about it tonight.
What do you mean
Yeah.
tonight?
Tonight, after Kiddush.
What do you meant by that?
Yeah, we're going to speak about it tonight. Yeah. So Amar Abaye comes and he says, Barhuna Amar Rav Chama, right? Amar Abaye Barhuna, Amar Rav Chama Barguya, Gezirin, there's a pieces of wood, right? Shasa Moshe, Orkan Amar Rochban Chama, so it's going to be 1 amal alma. Veovian, and the thickness is Macha Godesh Seah, was like the Godesh Seah. So Amar Rav Yirmiyah B'Amah Gedusha, we're talking about a small amma. Right? So Amar of Yosef says of Yosef. The Lavainu the Tanya is that what we spoke about. That he says that means the etzim, the wood, cannot come out of the mizbeach. So it means the wood cannot. There's a mizbeach. If you add planks of wood, the wood cannot come out of the mizbeach. Right? But that's the halacha. That's what it says. Asher al ala etzim shel mizbeach. Okay, so it had to be exactly. So Tananatam, we learned over there in the Mishnah, Kevesh, Hayali Drumash al Mizbeach. The Kevesh was on the south of the Mizbeach. Orech Shoshim Shtaim, it was going to be 32 amot on 16. So it's 32 amot the length, width was 16. Menana Mile, how do we know these words? Ravuna says, the Pasuk says, V'shachat oto al Yerech HaMizbeach Safona. Sheyeh Yerech batzafon, upanav badarom. Meaning it has to be that the Yerech of the Mizbeach, which is the side which is opposite the Kevesh, is going to be in the Tzafon. And Panav of the Mizbeach, which is the Kevesh, is going to be in the Darom. So Ema, he says, maybe Be'emet Yerech Batzafon Upanav Batzafon. Maybe everything is going to be in the north. So he says, no, he says, right, Amar Rava, Rami Gavra Apeh. He comes and he says, what does that mean, Rami Gavra Apeh? He says you have to put the person on his face, which means that he's coming and saying that it's kilu, that he's lying down, and not that a person that's sitting down properly. So Abaye says the opposite. He says Taditzu Otiv Gavra. He says you have to actually come and put it straight. So Ravua Ktiv, it's written Ravua. So you needed to make it squared. So Kiktiv Miruba, Ravua is Miruba. Litamech Katuv also it's going to be Ravutz. It doesn't say Ravutz, which means that according to you, why does it say this special thing of Revitza? Revitza is like lying down. And why didn't you just say Miruba? So he says, Amaleh, Meruva, Ravua active, the mashmach, meaning it's mashma both. Ravua means also ravitza, that it's like lying down, and meruba also, that it's going to be squared. V'tana ma'ite le'me'acha, and he brings it from here. The Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, u'ma'aloteu penot kadim, kol pinot she'ata poneh lo yhu ela derech yamin lemizrach. I mean, whenever you're going to turn, you always turn to the right, and it's always going to be to the mizrach, which means that since it's going to be in the south, when you go up and you start going, it's always to the east. You're always turning right. Yeah, you understood? You go up to the mizbeach, right? So when you're going up, you turn right. That's to the east, not to the west. Remember, the Kodesh Kodeshim was on the west. So you turn to the east, to the right. You turn to the right, and then you're going to go around, and then again you're going to turn, and then again turn. So you're always turning to the right.
You turn to the right, then you're turning to the left.
You don't miss a mitzvah like that.
Let me see. Hold on one second.
If you're going up the ramp.
No, but only the first time around. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Only to the first time around. So you come and he says now like this. He says,
Follow.
so he says like this, Ve'ema small la mizrach. So he says maybe the kavanah is that you should put it, right, that when you're going to go up, you're going to turn to the left, and that's going to go to the mizbach, to the mizrach. So he says no, because Rabbi Yecheskel says the ayam she'asa Shlomo, right, which is basically, this is talking about now the gigit of Nechoshet, that Shlomo Melech made was going to have 12 bakar, 3 panim tzafon, 3 panim yoma, 3 panim negba, 3 panim mizracha. So he says kol pinot she'ata poneh ba'avodat hakodesh is always going to be derech yamin. So he says that it's always going to be to the mizrach. So he says, if so, why do you need ponim lamali? So he says that all of them are going to be to the right. I'm trying to understand, how is it going to be? Only the first one is to the right. I'm not sure. You have a picture there in the Gemara, by the way. A picture, you see the ramp, which is the big one, the big ramp in the middle.
Where's the picture?
In the Gemara. No, you don't have it?
Oh.
Fine. Let's continue. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, he says like this. Sha'al Rabbi Shimon ben Yoseh ben lekunyat Rabbi Yoseh. Omer היה Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, avid yesh ben kevesh al mizbeach. That there was actually a space between the kevesh and the mizbeach. So it means there was like a hefsek. So אמר לו ואתה, you don't hold that? אבל לא כבר נאמן, it says, ועשית עולותיך בשר ודם, מה דם בזריקה? So to the basar was בזריקה, which means that obviously they had to actually even throw it. So אמר לו, he says, שאני אומר, בזה I'm going to say, עומד בצד מלאכה, that you were on the side of the melacha and you were throwing it. Not that you were throwing it from the end of the, meaning it wasn't like, you've got a kevesh, you go to the top and up from here, I'm going to throw it. No. You go on top of the mizbeach and you go around, and from there, that's when you throw it. So he says, Amar lo keshu zorek, when he's going to throw it, l'maracha, dluka uzorek, or l'maracha, right, she'ena dluka. Are you throwing it in a place where the fire is already lit or not? So he says, Ve'omer l'maracha dluka uzorek, only where it's already lit. Hatam mishum delei shar, but he says over there, it's only because you can't do it without that.
So if it's not lit, you can't throw it.
No. So he says, Rav Papa Amar,
Nobody had measurements. Nobody knew what was going on with it.
Kidam. What's the connection? So Rav Papa says Kidam. Just like the dam is, there's going to be a vir karka is going to be mafsik. So to the basar, a vir karka is going to be mafsik between it and the mizbeach, which means that just like the zrikat dam, he's throwing it onto the mizbeach. So too he's going to be on the ground and he's throwing it from far. So too they have to come and throw it from far. So Amar of Yehuda, shnei kevashim ketanim between kevash. Do you know there were two different kevashim coming up from the big kevash? So you had the big ramp going up and two small ones coming out of it. Shebaim panim leyesod lesovev. One of them went to the yesod and one of them went to the sovev. Muvdalim lemizbeach v'lo niman. It was separated just like mamash like chuta sara, like mamash like a hair spread, because it says in the pasuk saviv. Rabbi Yavu says it's ravua, it's squared. You needed saviv, you needed ravua. If it was only written Saviv, I would have thought you can make it what? You can make a round. That's why I had to say Revua. That's squared. And if it was only written squared, I would have known that it's going to be Aroch and Yoter from Rochbo. So Ketav Rachmana Saviv, that it's a complete square. Not that it can't be like a rectangle. It has to be complete square. By the way, this is the ones that I told you. The picture.
You can't see nothing with that.
Look at it, Richard. You've got the big ramp in the center,
Mhm.
and then two ramps. One ramp goes to this side, which is on the
I
side,
never saw
going
that
around
there
this,
were three ramps.
and the other one
I
here.
thought there was only one ramp.
No, three ramps.
The Sovev is the L shape.
Which one?
The Sovev is the L shape. It's the one on the left.
The one on the right.
Excuse me, Rabbi. The left. I'm looking at it like this. The Sovev is on the left.
This one is the one going down to the Yesod. This is going down to the Yesod, this ramp.
Which one? The one
And
on
here
the
you have
right
the
or
two ramps. You see? The big ramp
Look at
and the
that.
two ramps.
Okay, but Rabbi, the ramp on the left.
Let me see
goes
if I've got
to
a
the
better
left.
picture of the ramp, of the Mizbeach. What did you say?
Can you say right and left? What I know?
The right went up to the Yesod.
And the left with the Sovev.
Yes, left to the Sovev.
Okay, that's what I said.
Okay.
The-
Okay, you keep on seeing this one. It's always this one going down to the Yesod. You see this is the Yesod? So this is a ramp which is going down. So from the yes. I'm sure there's another picture of the one that's going to the right, which is the Sovev.
So that ramp, you go up and then it goes down.
Yes.
People walked up here and then walked down here.
Yes. Because many times also they would also go around the Sovev and then downwards.
You know, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
We've been studying this forever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Tanan Hatam, we learned also over there, the Kevesh of Mizbeach is going to be 62 amot. So Hani Shitiv Arba, when you're going to have the 64, Nimtza Poreach Ama ala Yisod v'Ama ala Sovev. So it's going to come out that you've got one Ama on the Yisod and one Ama on the Sovev. So it's going to be that these two Amot are going to be part of the Kevesh, which are swallowed in. Meaning that the Kevesh is coming up and the big ramp, and there's two Amot, which is one Ama of the Yisod and one of the Masovev, which is swallowed up within those 32 Amot. We're just getting to the Mishnah. One second. Says the Gemara, 63a on the top. Samar Rachama, Kol Kivshe Kivashim, kol Kivshe Kivashim, says all the Kivashim Gdolim and the Ktanim were Shalosh Amot Le'ama, were 3 to 1 Ama, right? Which means on every single 3 Amot, it went up 1 Ama. How do you call it? You know, you have like the slope. So every 3 Amot, it went up 1 Ama.
Mhm.
Okay?
That's the
What's it called?
rate
The
of
incline. No, incline.
Good.
So he says, חוץ מכבשו של המזבח, except for the מזבח, שהיה 3 אמות ומחצה ואצבע ושליש אצבע, right? בזכרותה. So he says that it was actually even more, because it was going to be 32 amot orech, so therefore it went up 9 amot, like the mizbeach. So therefore it comes out that the shipua, which is the incline, had to be 1 amah for every single 3.5 and a finger and a third of a finger, right? B'zachruta in the agudal. Okay, that's what he comes and he says. So that's how we went. Then it's much more. Remember, every amah, it's like, you know, you're going like in feet and then in inches and things like that. So the way that they would do it is they had the amah. Every amah was going to be a certain amount of tfachim, and because every amah is 6 tfachim, and every tefach is made out of etzbaot, because every tefach, right, one tefach is, I think it was the 5 etzba. I don't remember now. You have it here.
Finger. Well, you talking about finger breaths?
Yes.
That's etztabot.
Etzbaot are fingers. Yes. Here it is. The etzba. Every tefach is going to be 4 agudalim, and every etzba
Is what?
which is agudal, is 2 centimeters.
The finger.
So therefore, right, if
Amah
right
is
now,
24 fingers, 4 etzbot in a tefach, and 6 tefach in an amah.
exactly. So 4 etzbaot in 1 tefach,
What are we trying to do?
because 4 times 2 is 8. What? The incline, meaning it's going up as a slope. Nowadays, they have to do this as well. When you're going, you have to build a house, you're building something, and you've got a garage, right? If you're going to make the incline too steep, it's very difficult to pick up a car there. So they have to make an incline. So that incline, how much do you travel this way, and the steepness? How much? If it's going to be too steep, it's not good. So it has to be a certain amount.
But I thought that the big Rabbi